Hey, this is Eric Jarvis. I'm going to give a quick overview of creating and administering customized unit quizzes and tests in Illuminate and having it grade it for you. Of course, unless it's a constructed response, and then how to grade those. So we'll start out by looking at the results of assessment I recently gave. I just started using this feature. I've been a Moodle user for a long time. I've used Flubaroo and Moodle for a test. But yeah, I really like the Illuminate one. So here's my recent test on the Age of Exploration. You can go ahead and click on it. The first thing I get to see is this kind of donut graph of how all my students did in all my courses. And if I mouse over, I can see those results. So I only have 2 classes of this particular subject. So if I click on a band, I can see the names of the students who got that score, that proficiency level. And I can customize the proficiency level. The district standard is 90 to 100 would be advanced, and proficient is 80 to 89, and so forth. The standard A, B, C, D, F. But you can customize that if you want. You can change that. You can also get data on individual subgroups of your kids. See how maybe redesignated fluent English proficient kids did, or special ed kids or African American students that did better here, or special ed that actually did well. So the next thing you can do, you can also look at reports in a spreadsheet. So you can click on Matrix Report. That's the first one that pops up here. And this was an English test. I can run a spreadsheet for each individual class, and then that's probably what I'd have to do and manually enter it into PowerSchool. If secondary ended up using Illuminate as their gradebook, I could have the test results automatically populate in the gradebook. Can't do that with PowerSchool at this time. They say they're working on that though. So I'm going to go ahead and download this as an Excel spreadsheet for all my students in all my classes. Most likely you would probably do this for each class, and that's what I actually did when I had to enter the scores in PowerTeacher. So I took the liberty of jumping ahead and scrolling to the right so you don't see the student names, but it's kind of nice. It's color-coded here. You can see the colors are on the final percentage. I can use Excel to round these to nearest 1% if I wanted to. And I get the data on each question, what percent of students in all my courses got a question correct up here at the top. So it's kind of a nice report, and you do this for each class if you were to start entering it into PowerTeacher, which I'm sure you have to do. Unless, of course, we're using the Illuminate gradebook, which would automatically populate. So the next thing I'm going to go is to, I'm going to go back to the assessment. I'm going to show you the online testing feature. So this was really cool because while the students were taking the test, I could go to live proctoring, and I could see how they were doing as they took it. In other words, as they were taking the test, if they got questions right, their names were here. I've got this in anonymous mode. You can sort by first name, last name, or I could have the ID on here. As I see their names, I can watch them, how they're doing. I can watch which questions are getting missed live during the test, which is really cool. Really cool, interesting to see. And then for an individual student, I could click here and see, whoops, I got their name in there, see which questions they missed or how they were doing specifically. So on the last one was the constructed response. I could pop that out. I'm in ID mode here. I could have the name. I could have it anonymous if I wanted to. I could put this on my projector screen and say, let's all take a look at a specific response. How did this person do? We could talk about it. I could use this as an example and for the entire class to see. So I could display these without the student's name on it. Particularly good answers, etc. So now, obviously, this graded everything for me, except these constructed responses. So for the constructed responses, you go to Administration to score them. You go to Enter Edit, and once again, you just have to pick your class, because you can do it period by period, or you can score the constructed responses all at once, as I did. So felt like that was a little more fair way to do it. I think I was less biased. They all got scored at once. And then I'm going to click constructed response. And there I see every student's, it was a 5-point rubric. I can go through, I can make a comment. This down here is an individual comment. I can go and if I can click on here and say something positive, good, or put a star or on this. So you'll notice I added punctuation. Just click and selected punctuation if something was misspelled. So that's a good example. So I'll put a star here. So as you can see, there's, unclear or cut, that needs more support, creative, or just kind of like a happy face, etc. So makes grading kind of convenient. So then you just go through and you enter the individual numbered scores here for that one, and it calculates the final grade for you. So you might ask, how do you go about creating these tests? I know some of them are clunky to create. Moodle takes a long time to get the hang of. I know, but what you do for this is you're just making the test on a Google Doc or a Word or whatever, or you're scanning a test that came with your textbook to a PDF. So for Google Docs, you would download it as a PDF, and then you go in to make your test. So you start off on assessments, and you're going to go create a new assessment. Let's make one together. And the assessment we're going to make is a manual/hybrid assessment. And you have to type in how many questions first. So my next assessment I'm creating has 26 questions on it. I'm going to do a little Greek Latin root quiz. So I'm going to just give it a name. I can add a description for searching purposes. I can choose a subject area, a grade level, and then here is where we have the performance band set, and the default is 90 to 100 is exceed standard. 80 to 89 is proficient, and you can save that. So, or you can change that if you'd like. I'm not going to. That seemed to work well for me. So now I'm going to just click, make sure I have everything here. Click save. And now I have my answer key that I have to type in. So all it is, since it's multiple choice, so the number 1 is C, and the number 2 answer, don't tell my students, is E. I won't make you sit and watch me do all of these, but it really didn't take all that much time to type these in. And now my last question is a constructed response, so I'm going to use a rubric to grade it, and you see on the top here, it says rubric. So that's going to be a 5-point rubric, and I'm going to make it worth 5 points. And this is just a simple little quiz I'm giving, but there's advanced features here where you could have the students be required to choose two or more selections. Or you could say they have to say A and C. So you can make it like they encounter on the CASP, where they have to select all the correct answers, not just one. So you could have 2 or more correct answers. And you would click advanced to engage that feature, and then there's instructions on how to do it. Not going to get into, I'm doing a simple quiz, so I'm not going to get into that right now. You can add questions later. Next, you go to the sheet designer, and I've just made the answer key. I haven't put anything up here. So another thing that you need to be aware of, when I did my first test, I just had A through D, and you can change this. You can change the number of responses. In this case, I have 5 different choices for each question. You could have 4 or more, or 5 or more. Now, the next real important thing you need to do on setup is your materials. You need to upload your materials. So you're going to upload, I'm going to upload that PDF. Select here, go to my PDF, and here I have it. Here's the quiz. I upload the quiz and attach it. So that's attached. If I want to look at that and look at it again, review it again, I can click there to take a look at it. So the answer key, I have the test, and now it's time to administer it. So you can administer these. You can print answer sheets, so it's like a Scantron, and then this is where you would scan the answers. We're going to take this online, though, and here we go. So we add our roster. I can preview this, but I'll preview it later. We don't do the quick roster. That's where the kids type in a code. So I'm going to add the roster. I'm just going to give it to all my courses. And I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this quiz on Wednesday. It's going to be kind of end of the year thing. And then I can just choose my course, all courses. Now I can have it assign the test to all my courses, and then when I look at the results, that's where I filter the results. So I say, here's the settings, and I can say this is only available during the day. I will say, 8 a.m. to 3:30 or 3. I can make a time limit, so if a kid's just not really taking it, says, well, you try to use the excuse, I didn't finish it. Online entry, availability, open. I'm going to explore on the locked browser. I had a problem with the locked browser. I'm going to look into that. And you have to select the material that's going to appear with it. Okay, so here we go. This is going to open up on, they'll see this on Wednesday. Then the online testing settings. For math, they have you can enable a calculator, protractor. I'm going to enable the spell checker, encourage them to use the spell checker. They have highlighting and dictionary, etc. I don't need the ruler. And this is important. The assessment review, as soon as they're done with the test, I want them to be able to see see their results, okay? And then this is coming online at 8 a.m. So I'll worry about that later. And disabled, there we go, that's fine. And I want to see the results with the key. So when can they see the results and when can they no longer see the results? You could push that out as long as you want. So there we have it. I have my classes students selected who are going to encounter this test. They'll only be able to access it from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. And they'll be able to use a spell checker. And they'll be able to see their results and with the key, which was the right answer, right away. Okay, and there I have it, and it's saving. And then when they're taking it, I can click live proctoring and watch as they're taking. One last little quick thing I forgot to do is preview the assessment, and this is what the assessment's going to look like. Here are my online entry, etc. To select the type of material and select the features. I already did this with you guys, so spell checker I want, and then I want to show the results, etc., etc., with key. So let's go ahead and see what the test looks like on the student end. And here it is. And you'll be really, what's striking is it looks just like they click begin test. It looks just like the CASP. So it has a pause. They could take notes here while they're taking the test. They could flag questions. I don't think I made that available, but they just select their response. And for the last one, and here they have over here, they have the answer, the questions over here. They can maximize that. Okay, I went way off screen. And then down here for the constructed response, they have a spell check. They can maximize that screen and type, and you'll see it looks a lot like the CASP. And that's what it looks like on the other end for the students. And then they just finish review. They can pause. Looks just like the CASP, which I think might be a good thing for the students to see that. So that, in a nutshell, is creating a unit or test or quiz using Illuminate. And we'll be doing more in the fall if you're interested in this. So check it out. And thanks for watching. I thought this was going to be short. It's a little longer than I thought. So thanks for